Good evening. This is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghui Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. GoTo and NPO arise upon mutual understanding. It will be easier to defeat Kamala Harris, Trump after Biden drops out. News in detail. Naga People's Organization, NPO, and Committee on Tribal Unity, GoTo, have reached a mutual agreement in a meeting at NPO office, Senapati, on July 18. Following the mutual understanding reached between the two parties, NPO issued a release on Sunday and appealed to Senapati District Students Association to call off their current agitations. As per the joint meeting between the NPO and GoTo along with GoTo Advisory Board, GoTo had apologized for the extreme atrocities meted out on Naga commuters along National Highway 2, stated the release. NPO stated that a mutual agreement had arrived upon wherein GoTo had agreed to take care that there is no unnecessary frisking and harassment of commuters along the National Highway and no illegal extortions on Naga commercial vehicles. As per the release, GoTo has also agreed that any sudden total shutdown or blockage should not affect the Naga commuters. The Kuki leaders have agreed to look into the matter and take care of it within 7 days, failing which NPO shall take up agitations to counter their non-compliance, added the release. Ministry of Education, Department of School Education and Literacy, Government of India has announced that Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti will conduct a selection test for admissions to Class 6 in JNV schools in January 2025. Online applications are invited for the academic sessions 2025 to 2026. Eligible candidates can apply online. The eligibility criteria include studying in Class 5 in a government-recognized school in the district where the JMV school is located, born between May 1, 2013 and July 31, 2015, completed Class 3 and 4 in a recognized school. Reservations will be provided as per government norms for SC, ST, OBC, and other candidates. 75% of seats will be reserved for eligible candidates. The applications process will start on September 16, 2024, and the exam will be held on January 18, 2025 for summer-bound schools and April 12, 2025 for winter-bound schools. For more details, visit navodaya.gov.in. As Air India and Vistara prepare for their merger, approximately 300 non-flying employees on fixed-term contracts with Air India are unlikely to have their contracts renewed. These employees, who have been with Air India for 10 to 15 years, have not been assigned roles in the fitment exercise, which has almost concluded. Sources indicate that the number of fixed-term contract FTC employees affected stands around 300. These employees have previously had their employment contracts renewed regularly, but the current merger process has left them without assigned roles. The fitment exercise, evaluating roles and responsibilities of staff from both airlines, constitutes factors such as prior experience and performance. On July 17, Air India announced a voluntary retirement schemes, VRS, for permanent ground staff with at least 5 years of continuous service and a voluntary separation schemes, VSS, for those with less than 5 years of continuous service. However, FTC employees are not entitled to these schemes, unlike permanent staff who also did not find a position after the fitment exercise. The Air India Vistara merger is part of Tata Group's broader strategy to consolidate its airline business. The merged entity will reportedly require fewer ground staff, prompting and optimization process. Vistara at 51 ratio 49 joint venture between Tata Group and Singapore Airlines is set to merge with Air India by the end of the year. The combined workforce of the two airlines exceeds 23,000 employees. In aiding to merging Air India with Vistara, Tata Group is also consolidating its low-cost airline operations by merging Air India Express with AIS Connect, formerly Air Asia India. Tata Group took control of Air India in January 2022 and announced the consolidations planned in November, aiming to streamline its airline operations into a full-service carrier and a low-cost airline. As the Air India Vistara merger progresses, the future remains uncertain for around 300 non-flying employees on fixed-term contracts. With no assigned roles in the Fitment exercise and ineligibility for voluntary retirement schemes, these employees face the prospect of their contracts not being renewed. The merger makes a significant restructuring within Tata Group Airlines business, impacting thousands of employees. On the rising cases of Chandipura virus, Gujarat Health Minister Hrishikesh Patel said that 50 cases of Chandipura virus have been reported in the entire state and 16 people have lost their lives. Hrishikesh Patel said 14 cases of Chandipura virus have been reported in Himmatpur, out of which 7 patients have been admitted. 3 cases of Chandipura virus have come from other states. 50 cases of Chandipura virus have been reported in the entire state and 16 people have lost their lives. He further said that information regarding these have been passed into every village and community health centers, and the Chief Minister has conducted meetings with collectors, Chief District Health Officer, CDHO, and medical colleges. He further said, in Gujarat, symptoms of Chandipura virus were found in kids, which has caused some scare. 7 cases were sent to Pune for lab testing, out of which only 1 case of Chandipura virus have been found. Only Chandipura virus is not responsible for all the symptoms such as swelling and diarrhea. This can also be due to encephalitis. Important information regarding the virus have been circulated in the entire state. Earlier, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel reviewed the situations in the state amid the Chandipura virus and took stock of the measures taken to control the epidemic. Gujarat Health Minister Hrishikesh Patel and other senior officials also participated in the meeting. The Information Department of Gujarat stated, CM Patel interacted with the state municipal commissioners, district collectors, district development officers, as well as chief district health officers through video conference to get the details of their district performance. The Chief Minister directed the officials to run the campaign of spraying malathion powder in the district to prevent the disease. He also asked the officials to ensure immediate, intensive treatment is provided to patients in case of any kind of fever. Gujarat Health Minister Hrishikesh Patel also suggested measures to be taken in rural areas by grassroots level workers like ASA worker sisters, Anganwadi worker sisters, and nurse sisters to prevent this epidemic. Many districts in Gujarat have reported suspected cases of Chandipura virus infection. Samajwadi Party SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav said on Sunday that the BJP-led NDA government at the center would not last long, asserting that communal forces may experience temporary success but would ultimately be defeated. While addressing the mega Mother's Day rally of the TMC, Yadav said, "Those who have come to power are guests for just a few days. This government at the center won't last long and will fall soon. says communal forces want to be in power at any cost, but those designs won't succeed, he said, without naming the BJP or the NDA. The Samaswadi Party leader stated that the criminal forces at the center are hatching conspiracies and trying to destabilize the country. The forces which want to divide the nations on communal lines may test temporary success, but they will be defeated in the end, he added. The Samaswadi Party had won 37 Lok Sabha seats from Uttar Pradesh, which sends 80 MPs to the lower house of parliament. The party's tally is up from 5 seats it had won in 2019. The Samaswadi Party, along with the Congress, had won 43 Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh. West Bengal, under Didi's leadership, fought against divisive forces. Bengal defeated them, and Uttar Pradesh to join in this fight, he said. Yadav said that the time has come to unite against the communal forces to save the constitutions and the country. We believe in positive politics. The time has come for a change in people's lives. We all have to be united to save the constitutions and the country, he said. Earlier in the day, Yadav met West Bengal Chief Minister and TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee at her residence in Kalighat in the southern part of Kolkata. According to TMC sources, both leaders discussed the current political situations in the country. During the rally, Banerjee thanked Yadav for attending the event. A soldier and a relative of a Gallantry Award winner were injured as suspected terrorists launched a two-pronged attack at a remote village in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri on Monday. The Indian Army said both the attempts were foiled, followed by a search and cordon operations in the Gunda area of the district, after a security post and the residence of Shaurya Chakra recipient Purushottam Kumar came under attack. According to officials, the terrorists spread out in two groups to carry out the attack. One group tried to attack the security post while the other targeted Kumar's residence. His uncle was injured in the exchange of fire. Kumar is a farmer and a member of a village defense group or Village Defense Committee (VDC), who was recently conferred the Shaurya Chakra by President Draupadi Murmu as he displayed astute patriotism and gallantry under fire. An army spokesperson said that the terrorists fired at the security post around 4 a.m. The troops guarding the post retaliated, resulting in fierce exchanges. The troops foiled the attack, following which a cordon and search operation was launched by security forces in the area, the spokesperson added. Officials said a fresh firing between terrorists and security forces has broken out in the area while the cordon and search operation is underway. This incident comes amid a spike in terrorist attacks in the recent past, from Kathua to Risi and Rajouri to Doda, and ahead of the elections due later this year. In the most recent terror attack, 4 soldiers were killed in a gunfight with heavily armed terrorists in Doda district on the night of July 15th. An army captain and 3 soldiers were critically injured in the encounter in Dharigoti, Urarbagi in the Desa forest belt of Doda, and later succumbed to injuries. A week before that, there was a terrorist ambush on an army patrol in the remote Matadi forest belt in Kathua district that claimed the lives of 5 soldiers and injured as many. After the Doda attack, the Udhampur-based Northern Command of the Indian Army said it has been conducting a series of joint and coordinated operations with Jammu and Kashmir police to eliminate foreign terrorists who have infiltrated from across the border and are moving in the upper reaches of Udhampur, Doda and Kiswar district in Jammu region and thereafter to Kashmir. All formations of Northern Command are committed to eliminate the scourge of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, for which the relentless operations will continue, the army said, adding a number of measures have been instituted to enhance synergy between various agencies. This includes joint training with Jammu and Kashmir Police and Central Armed Police Forces and robust intelligence sharing mechanism between Army, police, and other intelligence agencies, the officer release said. Clear guidelines have been enunciated towards ensuring no collateral damage and disruptions in day-to-day life of the locals in the area. Close interactions with local populations also ensure for flow of intelligence inputs, the statement said. Soon after U.S. President Joe Biden dropped out of the U.S. presidential race, Republican nominee Donald Trump said Vice President Kamala Harris will be easier to defeat in the November's election than the 81-year-old president. Trump, 78 later, also attacked Biden on social media by calling him the worst president in the history and saying he was unfit to continue running the office. Harris will be easier to beat than Joe Biden would have beat. Biden goes down as the single worst president by far in the history of our country, Trump told CNN. He also called Biden crook on his Truth social network and said that everyone around the president knew he was incapable of running for office. My debate with crook Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, was slated to be broadcast on Fact News ABC, the home of George Stephanopoulos, sometime in September. Now that Joe has not surprisingly has quit the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than very biased ABC. Thank you, DJT, he wrote on Truth Social. So we are forced to spend time and money on fighting crook Joe Biden, he posted badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. Now we have to start all over again. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud in that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and the Fact News media, knew he was not capable of running for or being president? Just asking, he added. In a statement after Biden dropped out, the Trump campaign said Harris was Biden's enabler-in-chief. The campaign said Biden and Harris own each other's records, and there is no distance between the two. The official's Republican National Committee YouTube channel published a 2-minute video on Sunday afternoon attacking Harris over immigration policies, alleging she neglected that issue. Other top Republicans, including House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson, also said Biden was not fit to serve as president and finish his term if he was stepping aside as the Democratic presidential candidate. Johnson explicitly called on Biden to resign. Trump, in a post on his Truth Social platform, said, "We will suffer greatly because of his Biden's presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly." Biden ended his re-elections campaign on Sunday after fellow Democrats lost faith in his mental acuity and ability to beat Trump. He endorsed his VP Harris to replace him as the party's candidate. Biden had faced growing doubts about his re-election chances after a week and faltering performances in a televised debate against Trump late last month. Trump and his Biden have been mostly tied in polls, but after the debate, some polls saw Trump narrowly ahead of the president in a mess-up for the November elections. The Trump campaign had already begun discussions about how it would redeploy campaign resources for the possibility of Biden's dropping out, Reuters reported, quoting a source with direct knowledge of the matter. Given that any alternative Democratic candidate would likely have different strengths and weaknesses than Biden, the person said the president's dropping out would require rethinking where to spend ad dollars and where to deploy resources more generally. Israeli war plans today struck targets around the Houthi-held Red Sea port of Yemen's Hudaydah, retaliating for a drone attack on Tel Aviv by the Iran-backed rebel that killed a man and exposed a vulnerability in Israeli air defenses. The rebels claimed that 3 people had been killed in the strikes, which triggered a rising fire and plumes of black smoke. Called operations Outstretched Arm, these strikes are the farthest from the Israel territory ever conducted by their Air Force, the country said. This is the first attack claimed by Israel in the Arabian Peninsula's poorest country. These operations struck targets 1,800 kilometers from our borders. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a video statement, "It clarifies to our enemies that there is no place where the long arm of the State of Israel won't reach." Explaining the strikes, the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) in a statement said that it struck targets around the Yemen port as it served as an entryway of Iranian weapons for the Houthi terrorist regime and as a significant economic source for them. Over the past few months, the Houthis have been operating in order to destabilize the Middle East. The Houthi terror attacks are funded and directed by Iran, harming the maritime freedom in the area, regional ports, the Suez Canal, and global trade as a whole, the IDF added. The Israeli strike killed 3 people and wounded 87, the rebel-run health ministry said in a statement carried by Houthi media. The ministry said earlier that most of the wounded had severe burns. Footage aired by the rebels Al Masirah television showed casualties being treated in hospital, many of them bandaged and lying on stretchers in packed rooms. A man interviewed by the broadcaster said many of the wounded were port employees. The city is dark, people are on the streets, petrol stations are closed and seeing long queues, he said. The Houthis started targeting Israel with drones and missiles shortly after the war between Israeli forces and Hamas in Gaza began in October. None of those attacks are believed to have caused significant damage in Israel until now, with most projectiles being intercepted or failing to reach the country. Houthi rebels says they are acting in solidarity with Palestinians and will continue the attacks until there is a ceasefire in Gaza. Donald Trump said he liked to take North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to a baseball game as he boasted about their friendship at Michigan rally on Saturday. The former president said he got along great with Kim when he was in office. It's a good thing to get along, not a bad thing. I used to tell him, why don't you do something else? All he wants to do is buy nuclear weapons and make them, Trump said of the North Korean leader. I say, just relax, chill, he got enough. He got so much nuclear weapons. I say, just relax, let's go to a baseball game. I'll show you how to baseball. We'll go watch the Yankees, Trump continued. The former president echoed similar rhetoric at the Republican conventions in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on Thursday. I get along with him. He'll like to see me back too, Trump said during his keynote address. I think he misses me, if you want to know. Trump held in-person meetings with the dictator during his time in the Oval Office. In 2019, Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to visit North Korea. North Korea is one of the most repressive countries in the world, according to Human Rights Watch. Under Kim's leadership, the government maintains fearful obedience by using threats of torture, executions, imprisonment, and forced disappearances and forced labor, Human Rights Watch reports, and yet Trump has praised Kim's leadership. I may be wrong, but I believe that Chairman Kim has a great and beautiful vision for his country. And only the U.S. with me as president can make that vision come true, Trump said on X Twitter in 2019. But Trump is no stranger to rubbing elbows with dictators. He has a long-standing friendship with Viktor Orban, the far-right ruler of Hungary, who triggered a democratic plebiscite in the country. Freedom House raised Hungary as only partly free, noting the country's anti-immigration and anti-LGBTQ policies, as well as policies that hamper the operations of opposition groups, journalists, universities, and non-governmental organizations, Trump mentioned Orban during the same Michigan rally. celebrating praise he claimed to have received from the authoritarian leader. Viktor Orban said, when asked what happened when the world is falling to pieces, "The war's all over," he said. "Bring back Trump. It all ended," Trump said. The Hungarian leader has similarly praised Trump, calling the former president his good friend earlier this year when the duo met in Washington, D.C. Trump has also repeatedly praised Russia's Vladimir Putin, even taking his side over that of U.S. intelligence at a press conference in Helsinki in 2018, and Xi Jinping of China. Islamabad has expressed strong condemnations after a group of people claimed to be Afghan nationals attacked the Pakistani consulate in Frankfurt, Germany on Saturday. The assailants threw stones and pulled down Pakistan's flag, triggering widespread outrage on social media. According to Pakistan-based Geo News, the attackers with Afghan flags wrapped around their soldiers stormed the consulate, vandalized the premises, and replaced the Pakistani flag with the Afghan flag. Geo News also cited reports as stating that the attackers also tried burning the Pakistani flag. They also pelted stones at the building, as per the Pakistani media. The Pakistani Foreign Office issued a statement on Sunday condemning the breach of security at its consulate in Frankfurt, which endangered the lives of consular staff. The statement did not specify the nationality of the attackers but highlighted the failure of German authorities to protect the diplomatic facility. Pakistan strongly condemns yesterday's attack by a gang of extremists on its consulate in Frankfurt, Germany, and the failure of the German authorities to protect the sanctity and security of the premises of its consular mission, the Foreign Office said. "We are conveying our strong protest to the German government. We urge the German government to take immediate measures to fulfill its responsibilities under the Vienna Conventions on Consular Relations, 1963, and ensure the security of the diplomatic missions and staff of Pakistan in Germany." The Foreign Office also called on German authorities to arrest and prosecute those involved in the incident and hold accountable those responsible for the security lapses. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar condemned the incident, demanding the arrest and prosecution of those involved in the incident. He took to X and wrote, "Yesterday, a gang of extremists breached the premises of Pakistan's consulate in Frankfurt, Germany, endangering the life of its consular staff." Pakistan has launched a strong protest with the German government. "We have urged the German government to fulfill its responsibilities under the Vienna Conventions and ensure the security of the diplomatic missions and staff of Pakistan in Germany." That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.